Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Political Job Interview, where I interview candidates running for election. I'm Vincenzo Calla, the host, and today I take on the role as the boss, giving a job interview to today's candidate, Guy Boone. Guy is running for election for Ottawa City Council as a candidate for Ward 24, Barrhaven East. Thanks, Guy, for your time, and thanks for joining me today.
It's my pleasure. Glad to have to be here with you.
Well, it's great to have you here, and let's get this job interview started. As with any good job interview, I'm going to start off with an opportunity to learn more about Guy. So first question, can you tell me a bit about yourself and your story?
Yes. So once again, my name is Guy Boone, and I'm a resident of Barrhaven East. I've lived here with my family since '95, but I actually did have an opportunity to visit Ottawa in my final after graduation from high school. I have two brothers that live there, and then of course I attended Memorial University in Newfoundland, and I had a work term in Ottawa. So I was here in '87. So when I came back with my family in '95, we sort of converged on Barrhaven East. Certainly at the time, Barrhaven was very young, and where we purchased our house across the street was an open field, and there was a lot of open fields. We currently live in a newer part of Barrhaven East, and that was a complete field at the time. So we've seen it grow from the point where we had to leave the community to get services like shopping and groceries, but we've experienced the community grow from those early stages. And then, of course, as my kids were in school, I did become very active in the community, serving on school councils for my son's schools, and as well in the community on community associations. And I did spend probably about 5 years operating a series of 3 outdoor rinks in our community. I was the organizer, recruiting volunteers and working with the city to ensure that the rinks were set up and functioning as required. So then, of course, the last 5 years, I've been more involved with my engineering profession. I am an engineer, and I've served on the governing council. So we can get into more of that, but that sort of brings me to where I am today.
And I want to ask you now, why have you decided to run for this position? Why take on the role as running for council?
So I like to say that community service is sort of in my DNA, and I've always been looking out for my neighbors. I was involved with setting up a neighborhood watch program in our part of the community, and even prior to our community association being formal, we were sort of a bit of an ad hoc community, and I was still involved with the more formal community association. And over the years, it's kind of lost interest, and I've helped to rejuvenate it at times. And yeah, so and then of course. Being involved in my engineering profession over the last 5 years. In 2015, I was the chair of the Ottawa chapter for Professional Engineers Ontario, and then I served as the Eastern Regional Councillor for Eastern Ontario, representing professional engineers at the Governing Council in Toronto. So that helped to sort of understand the interest of engineers, and so I've always been sort of an advocate for the community and for the engineering profession, and so I feel that the running for council would be sort of like the next step in my development and contribution to the community.
Let's take a bit of time now to talk about the job and what you bring to it. So I wanted to ask you, what experience do you bring to this job? I know you mentioned a bit of your work, but what experience that's important to council do you bring?
So one of the things that I like to tell people at the door is that I'm an engineer with LRT experience, and also I have governance experience. So serving on the governing council for Professional Engineers Ontario, I'm very familiar with how committees and council operates. Certainly, you are a single voice. The new council will be 24 wards with a councillor. So that's 25 people. So it's not always what you want, you get, So it's important to work with your councillor colleagues to build alliances, to appreciate what their concerns are so that they can in turn appreciate the concerns that we have in this community, right? So it's a team approach, and you have to be you need to be outspoken to represent all the views, and certainly I feel that we need to have the best representation for our ward. So we need to have a candidate that's been active, been involved, and knows what the concerns of the community are.
And I wanted to ask you as well. So there are quite a few candidates running in your ward. It's one of the wards with the most candidates running. And
Yes.
I wanted to ask you what sets you apart from all of the other candidates.
Well, I did register for the election on the last day, and I did have an opportunity to meet or talk to most of the candidates. I can say that all the candidates are very passionate about what they bring to the council table, and I feel that we've been able to have a very healthy sort of campaign, and to share our ideas. Certainly, what I feel separates me from my colleagues is that I'm an engineer, and there's very few engineers on council, and I find that the municipal level is the level of government that has the most engineering related sort of items. You talk about water, sewer, you talk about roads, infrastructure, facilities, parks. There's a lot of technical decisions that need to be understood and bring that sort of technical contribution to the council table. So I feel that that's an element that makes me stand out from my colleagues.
Part of serving as an elected official is serving the people who elect you. So a few questions now about how Guy wants to serve the people. The first question is, what's something that the people you would like to serve, the people of Barrhaven East, and I guess Barrhaven in general, need that you want to get done if elected?
Well, there's a number of items that have stood out in my mind. Number one, we've had this terrible accident that happened at the intersection of Woodruff and Fallowfield, and as a result of the Via Rail train. And back some years ago, we sort of twinned Fallowfield and Woodruff. And I guess at the time, due to budget considerations, the real solution to preventing that sad incident was what's called grade separation. And as you know, Greenbank has had grade separation at the Via Rail track. And recently, over the last month, they've opened the Stranded section where there's grade separation. So at the corner of Woodruff and Fallowfield, that's a very important intersection. And my expectation is that with the phase 3 of LRT, grade separation will be implemented. I want to make sure that that gets done, because we really can't, I often say that it's a sad day when you leave your community and you don't come back to your family. So it's important that that these sort of infrastructure failures do not occur. And that's why safety, and being a safety engineer, this is a very important element to my campaign. Another item that comes to mind is the recent council decision to put a truck warehouse in Merivale Business Park. And the way that process was done, it was done intentionally as a two-stage process where they rezoned the land. They told us, I attended the consultations, they told us that there was no proponent. It was really a rezoning to try to make the land more attractive for development. And then not long after the rezoning, we then have a second meeting saying that, oh, now there's interest. It certainly looks to be like an Amazon facility. We haven't been told that it is. And I feel that that process was not open and transparent like it should have been. And I would like to see that decision revisited. We do have, as you know, in West Barrhaven, an Amazon facility. I'm not sure if that's the right place for that facility. And I think it should be revisited to make sure that it is, and the infrastructure that's there can support that large operation. Okay, and then a third item that comes to mind is that Barrhaven East kind of like was the new and developing side of Barrhaven. And it was part of the Barrhaven ward years ago. And then some years later, it became part of Riverside South. And oddly enough, it is a portion of Ward 22 that actually is the largest, and we're one of the largest wards. So I think we need a community plan for Barrhaven East. We've seen a lot of the development. I've been amazed as I went around knocking on doors that so much of this community is developed, and the Parks and Rec facilities. We got obviously the sportsplex. We have we have facilities around, but not much. We got a couple of little small community buildings, South Point Community Building and the Chapman Mills Community Building. So I think we need to really look at, and the other thing that's a unique element of Barrhaven East that I've come to discover this past summer is the Rideau River. It's to spend time on the river in a canoe has been fabulous, and we need to develop it as part of the community plan. Certainly, the Conservation Authority walkway is a very good element of our community. So, and years ago they talked about building a police station along the river that would provide services to the Rideau River. So
right by Carlton Lodge. Right by
near Carlton Lodge. Yeah, exactly. So those are a number of items that I feel that should be addressed. I just want to remind you that my priorities are safety, transportation, smart initiatives. And what I'm saying as an engineer, like we need to have smart development, affordable housing. We need to be focused on mental health issues. So these are all what I call smart initiatives, and then quality of life, our parks, our green space, and then of course transparency and accountability is kind of like my DNA. So that's what I like to bundle in there as well.
And finally, I wanted to ask you, what's one accomplishment that you have achieved that demonstrates why you'll be a good elected official if the people choose you on election day?
Well, so the fact that I was elected as a Eastern Regional Councillor and re-elected, so I served 2 terms, so that was a 4-year span. And I feel that service is a calling. I feel that serving the community is an honor and a privilege, and we need to to advance our community and make sure that Barrhaven, the new Barrhaven East Ward 24 is as progressive as all other parts of the city, and that we contribute to a great, vibrant city.
Thank you guys so much for joining me today. It was great having you, and I'm sure the viewers have really enjoyed hearing what you have to offer to them. Election Day is October 24th, 2022, and if you liked hearing what Guy Boone had to say and live in Ward 24, Barrhaven East, you have the opportunity to vote for him on Election Day. Check with your local election officials for more details. To stay updated, make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at VCProtections25. Check out my website, VincenzoCalla.com, and make sure to like, subscribe, and choose to get notifications here on YouTube. The Political Job Interview is a VCalla production, so until the next video, I'm Vincenzo Calla, signing out.